Hi, everybody, and welcome to halfway through the reading rush. It's day 3.5 of 7 days of reading. And I just kind of wanted to let you know what I've been doing for the challenges. I've completed 4 challenges and 4 books. My goal is still to read 7 books. So I have 3 books to read in the next 3.5 days. But I just wanted to let you know what I've read so far. I'll do a big wrap up video at the end of the week to kind of tell you what I liked, what I didn't like about each book that I read, why I picked it, what I would recommend with it, if I would do the reading rush again, like that sort of thing. But not gonna lie, I look a little hot mess today because I've been up late reading every night, which is not unusual, but like really late reading. So no contacts today, no hair straightener, very little makeup, that kind of thing. Anyway, so the first book that I read was for the challenge of Birthstone Challenge, and this one changed from my TBR that I had originally put up last week. And you guys know that I take the covers off my books when I read them. And this week I'm at my in-laws' house, so the cover of this book is back at my house 100 miles away. So I can't show you the actual cover. That's my actual birthstone, but I can tell you what I read. So I read A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. So that's what I read. And my birthstone is not yellow, it is blue. But this book is what I read. And I will show you the cover in my wrap-up video that's pretty and water and all that kind of stuff. So the next book that I read was for the movie that you've seen, but you haven't read the book, so that backwards kind of thing than what we usually do as readers. So my daughter and I just finished watching The Babysitter's Club on Netflix last week, and if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. It was really well done, very well written. I read the books when I was like 8, 10 years old, and they updated it, but still kept true to like the spirit of what the books were and the storylines and the relationships and all those kinds of things. So I read that one on my Kindle. So there's Christy's Great Idea, the first Babysitter's Club book. Yeah, I read them originally when I was, like I said, 8 or 10 years old, and I looked at the copyright, and I must have been like super like cutting edge, get them as they come out kind of thing, because in 1986, like I was 9 years old. So I was reading them like as they were coming out. Woohoo! Who knew that I was like picking up books as they came out when I was that young? All right, then I read the book that was on a different continent. And I read this one. This is My Sister, the Serial Killer. It takes place in Nigeria, and I live in Tucson, Arizona. So Nigeria is about as far away from me as you can get. So I read this one. I have a lot to say about this book in a good way. So make sure you come back at the end of the week for my wrap-up video, because, yeah, I don't give a lot of 5 stars, but this one is a 5-star one. Okay. Then I read the first book I touched, which I picked this one, and I said this in my TBR video, but I picked this one because it was on top of another book that I wanted to read for a different challenge. So I read Everything, Everything. And I'm not usually a YA romancy kind of person, but this book, all the feels. So this is what I read for the first book that you touch challenge. And again, on my wrap-up video, I'll tell you all of the beautifulness of this book, not just the cover, but the relationships and the topics and things like that. So this is what I read for first book I touch challenge. And then I am more than halfway through. I'm looking at my phone. So the book that I'm reading outside of my house, I'm reading an audiobook, listening to an audiobook, as I walk every morning. And the books that I said on my TBR, when I went to download them, they were 8 hours and 10.5 hours. And I was like, don't have time for that during the reading rush. So I looked for a different book that was a memoir that took place in a different country, not thinking this book still takes place in a country that's in North America, because I was going to use it for both, but it's fine. It's good. So this one is The Very Worst Missionary, a memoir or whatever. And again, I have a lot of things to say about this book, and I will talk about that in my wrap-up video, but I'm about halfway. I don't know if you guys can see. So I've done 3 hours and 10 minutes. I have 1 hour and 50 minutes left of this book. So this one I will definitely get done. And this one actually fits for the last 3 challenges that I have, but my goal is still to read 7 books this week. So those are the 4.5 books that I've read in 3.5 days for the Reading Rush Challenge. And I will do a whole wrap up, post it on Sunday probably. So I will see you guys then. Let me know below, what are some of the things that you've been reading for Reading Rush? Are there any things that you are like super excited to talk about, or books that you discovered in the either Reading Rush community or that you read? And I would love to hear from you guys. So happy mid Reading Rush week and have a great another 3.5 days.